We're going to go over Blackwater, what's really happening in the economy, and take your calls with Bob Chapman of the internationalforecaster.com. Okay, going back to Bob. Bob, Blackwater. I mean, this is Time Magazine. Former Blackwater CEO Erik Prince. Federal court, killing federal witnesses. Well, we know the Army does that, too, to people that were, where'd the missiles go? Where'd the money go? Where'd the pallets of billions of dollars go? You die. This was encouraged, a mafia-type system. Blackwater is seeking a gag order right now against the nation and against these people, claiming national security. Blackwater founder implicated in murder. I don't know about Mr. Prince on this count, but I do know that Israel has bragged themselves, years after we covered it, that they have hit teams in the U.S. killing people and that they use Delta Force to kill people in the U.S. and abroad. So, and people think that's tough or cool. No, once secret groups in the government kill who they want, when they want, you are in total tyranny. And that's like the NSA surveils Congress, and the NSA for the British surveils their parliament. The black op government that works for Wall Street is robbing everything. Goldman Sachs has a special computer jacked into the stock exchange, stealing money with an algorithm. And Barney Frank says, oh, that's okay. It's all rigged. Bob Chapman, your take on all this.
It's all rigged, and you're absolutely right. I think getting back to the Blackwater Group, fostered under the Bush administrations, especially, it's just a license to kill. They do what they want. And someone from the inside, for whatever reason, has come out and exposed them. And, of course, they know that their lives are going to be in danger, and they've been willing to take that risk. But, sure, that's what they've been doing, and they're not the only ones. I'm sure that the other contractors were doing the same thing, and the CIA's done it for years. I mean, anything goes.
And now...
And one of the reasons I did not continue to work in counterintelligence, because, these people, I said to myself, in 1958, 59, I said, these people are far worse than the mafia.
Well, it turns out the Italian mob was just some minions they used for some dirty work. And when they got too big for their britches, they demonized them and shut them down. Back then, the Italian mob wasn't running child kidnapping rings for sex perverts, but now the whole global mob does. And you're right, DynCorp, much bigger, much more wicked. Now they changed their name 3 years ago. They are on record kidnapped over 1,100,000 people. I know that's a huge number to believe, but that was back in the early 2000s, first 3 years of the millennium, and they don't even get in trouble. It's totally lawless. It's a big joke to them, and now they want to steal all our pension funds and take over America, and Northcom standing by to do it. Our lives depend on discrediting this government, don't they, Bob?
Right, and one of the concepts here I'd like to talk about that I and many, many others get sucked into with the Second World War, the Korean War, serving, and that is all it was to further the interests of the powers behind government. And I found that a long time ago. But they do anything that they want. And that's what's so frightening. And they use this secret force, plus the military, to cow people in other countries and force them to accept what they want to do. Example, you take a place like, let's take the Bahamas. I used to live there. And they came to the government there and they said, look, this is the way it's going to be. You're going to turn over all the information that we want you to on all kinds of accounts and corporations and things like that. And if you don't do that, then what's going to happen is we'll, disrupt your government. No more electronic communications, no internet, no post, no airplanes, no boats. We'll just shut you off from humanity. And if that doesn't work, we'll liquidate you. And I get that from a former president of the Bahamas at a dinner.
Well, what did ABC News...
This has been going on for years, Alex.
Yeah. Well, what did ABC News report 2 months ago? We put it on screen. Merck said we must go to the homes of any scientists saying our products are killing people and liquidate them. We must seek and destroy them. That came out in federal court documents, and the media spun it. Oh, they just meant that, ha, ha, ha. But then you go, look, all these people got killed. I mean, that's corporate business now. Just murder those people. Lock and load, you know. And then we're supposed to trust these people and take their vaccines?
Not at all. And those are all those bioscientists that one way or the other died. And that was the drug companies getting rid of them. And who helps them do that? The CIA and other organizations. They hire them. And why? Because the major stockholders in the drug companies are foundations and holdings of members of the Illuminati. I don't know what the percentages are, but they're very high.
You know what's also interesting was that Blackwater was smuggling weapons into Iraq. That's in The Nation and Time magazine. That's what our military sources told us years ago, and then it came out. British Special Forces, Israeli, U.S. Special Forces, and mercenaries, and that's what Wayne Madson's been reporting on. The troops keep catching truckloads of weapons being brought to Wahhabis to kill U.S. forces, and that most of all those bombings and stuff, and bombings of mosque, Ray McGovern, former chief CIA briefer for Ronald Reagan, came on the show and said they blew up that mosque to get Shiite and Sunni killing each other. It turns out there was very little real war going on there. You don't know. I mean, the contractors, a lot of evidence shows, grease their own people and hang them up on bridges to then have a pretext to get more funding. They run false flags against themselves, not just against the troops. I mean, these people are more Machiavelli than Machiavelli.
Anything to make a buck. It's as simple as that. They will do anything to make money. And I don't care what the fallout is, because they get out of jail free card. They work for a contractor or they work for the government. They do what they want.
Yeah, but how stupid would one of these, say, Special Forces, Green Beret, whatever, Navy SEAL be to go to work for a big contractor? Don't they know these companies kill them later?
No, they don't, I don't think. I don't think that they believe that they would do that, and they think that they're one of them. And you got to remember, and I know this firsthand because I spent a lot of time with Navy SEALs in San Diego, and I won't tell you the team numbers, but if you're there in San Diego, you can figure it out. And I would sit around a dinner or something with them, and they would bemoan the fact, and these guys, most of them were in their 30s, that the only thing they know how to do is murder people. And they'd start telling me about some of the ops that they did in other countries, and we go in, wipe out, 800 people at a whack and things like this. Just incredible stories. And, of course, they would normally talk about it, and some of them would break down and start crying. I mean, this is the true stories. And so it has a human toll, is what I'm saying here. But, yes, they did that, but they don't realize. They think there's some sort of a honor or esprit de corps, and it does not exist with these people. I mean, look at Orly Noah. I mean, the first time I went in to see him, he had my file on his desk. I said, I see you got my file. He said, yeah. I said, you want to talk about Compromised? You know about the book Compromised. You remember it, I'm sure.
Yes, you want to talk about the book on Mina.
Yes. And quite a long book, a very good one. It's still available. And he said, no, I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, so he was menacing you with your file, and you said, oh, you want to talk about how you're compromised? Yeah,
I always found when you go in to meet people like that, you got to take command of the situation. And quite frankly, I knew he was a wimp, because I know people who serve with him, especially in Grenada. And so other Army officers, Marine officers, and they had told me, so they told me how to handle this guy. So I walked in and said, hey, I'm the boss. And he didn't say anything.
Why did he get in your face? I mean, why were you meeting with him?
What power he had, that he was really connected.
But no, I mean, I'm interested about this Ollie North stories. We've had him on before. Tell me about why you were being called into his office.
Because he wanted me to do public relations for his company.
Oh, so it was a friendly thing.
Well, it was a business thing.
Yeah. Don't you think they were just trying to recruit you back in?
Maybe. It wasn't very successful.
Yeah.
Just because I know there's no way I would do that.
Yeah. Why'd you even meet with him then?
At this point, it's an old man.
Yeah, but why'd you even meet with him then, just to see what he wanted?
Yeah, I wanted to look at the company, and the company was not very good. They were making bulletproof vests, and they didn't have any contracts, and there was really nothing to bring to the public's attention that was positive for the company. So
he wanted you to do PR for him.